It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Browar Jaga out there in Poland, and it's a bottle of their Lunar West Coast IPA. It's 6.6% ABV, 70 IBUs, black bottle cap. It was kindly sent to me by the guys over at Jaga, Browar Jaga over there in Poland. Nice bit of smoke on the opening. I'm not sure if you can see by the bottle, but there's a little bit of yeast. Can you see that yeast there in the bottom of the bottle? It's going to be interesting when we pour this. What I'll do, I'll show you some of the beer with the yeast poured in, or left out, sorry, and some of it later on. That's about as clear as we're going to get it for the moment. We'll pour some of the yeast in later on. One finger, slightly off-white head. Nice levels of carbonation. Amber in colour. Looks good, quite clear. Let's get the aroma. Lots and lots of caramel. In fact, there's just so much caramel in this beer. It's like a big bready, biscuity, almost nutty aroma. And then there's some American hops there in the background. So grapefruity, citrusy aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. Wow. Oh, that's really intense. Really intense for two reasons. I thought I could smell a little bit of it in the aroma, but I wanted to make sure. I wanted to give the beer the benefit of the doubt before mentioning anything. There was a slight hint in the aroma of diacetyl, which is an off flavour in the beer. A lot of it is caused by you haven't left the beer to brew long enough for the yeast to completely do its job and completely finish brewing, if you like. There's a little bit of that in the aroma. There's definitely a little bit of that in the taste. But it's manageable. It's not completely crazy. It's not too much. It's not spoiling the beer completely. But as a beer reviewer, I have to be honest. I have to mention the fact that, yes, I can taste and smell a little bit of diacetyl in the beer. Of course, by now you guys in Poland would have been smelling and tasting beers for a long time, so you will get the same sensations from this batch of beer as I do. So there's no point in me standing here, because the beer was sent to me from the brewery in Poland, saying wow, this smells fantastic and it tastes fantastic, when it kind of doesn't. When, as I just mentioned, it's not that bad, but it's in there. It's definitely in there. Other than that, the other thing I picked up was a massive malt balance. It's a big, chewy, malty brew. And for a West Coast IPA, it's a little bit too malty. There's a little bit too much malt in there for me. It's too sweet, it's too bready, it's too biscuity for a West Coast IPA. It needs to be cleaner than this. It needs to be that you get a little element of sweetness, and then you have a big rampaging, smacking, punishing amount of hops on the back end for a West Coast IPA. Now I'll move on to the hops after getting them two small issues out of the way. The hops, after you get over that initial bit of diacetyl and you get over that initial malty breadiness, the hops come through. They come through, but not quite enough. There's some resinous pine in there. There's some grapefruit. There's some bitter lemon. There's a bit of lime. It's all there. It's all there, but it's not quite enough. It's not quite pushing the boundaries for me, and it probably would if they cut back a little bit on the malt. The malt is doing a lot of damage to this beer. There's just too much malt. There's too much breadiness, too much biscuitiness. It's just, it's almost like a strong bitter, a malty bitter that is trying to be a West Coast IPA. It's trying to be bitter. So I really liked the previous beer we reviewed from these guys. I think it was like a whiskey barrel aged, a double extra stout. It was a lovely, lovely beer. I really enjoyed that. But this is just a little bit of a shame. It's just a little bit... I'll show you that yeast as well. The beer looks good. It's a real shame. The beer looks okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's nice to look at. Slightly hazy, but then yeah, it's just too much. There's just too much diacetyl, and there's too much sweet malt in the beer for me. One more taste, and we'll give it a rating. It's a shame. It's probably a case that they're a fairly new brewery and they're learning. They're learning all of the time. Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that... I mean, if they called this a hoppy bitter, you'd be able to understand a little bit more the diacetyl, and you would probably... It wouldn't be so much of a problem. But the fact that there's diacetyl in the beer, and it's big and it's bready and it's biscuity, it's big, lots of malt flavours when it's trying to be a West Coast IPA. Them hops are trying to kind of throw themselves at me and be there in my face, but the malt just holds it all back. Pardon me. Jaga Luna West Coast IPA. It's just not great. I wish it was, but it's just not great. It's one of the lowest ratings I'm gonna give to a Polish brewery. I am sorry about this, but it's nowhere near what I was expecting. It's a 6 out of 10. It's a 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Cheers.